All right, this time for our Boston College preview and predictions video. Another Atlantic Division showdown, week 2 of the ACC play, coming off a big game Saturday night with a big game coming up next Saturday night. People like to talk about trap games. Coaches didn't want to hear any of that talk this week. Will, let's talk first about your key to the game.
Well, in a game like this, I think after you've come off a big win, I think the key for Clemson is their intensity. Keep up that same intensity they've had the last 2 weeks because, they played an emotional game, a physically hard-fought game against Auburn, won it. And then against Louisville, they played what I thought, at least from an offensive standpoint, was a very focused game. And even the defense, though, as Coach Venables and Sweeney said, they didn't play their best game, I thought they still were focused enough on what they needed to do. And so, and they got a big win against Louisville on the road. And so now you come home and you're playing a Boston College team that, let's just be honest, is not very good. They got hammered by Wake Forest at home, 46-10. They got beat last week at home by Notre Dame. So, so they're struggling right now, both on offense and defense. This is probably the first time we can say that this is not a very good Boston College defense. Normally I know
That's Will Vandervoort.
Yeah. I know Coach Sweeney's talked them up and all that stuff this week, and they're going to be Boston College in the sense they're going to play hard, they're going to play physical. That we do know. They're that way every year no matter what. However, they're just not as good talent. They're just not as talented as they have been in the defensive secondary or at linebacker. And now, so at all three levels, they had some issues. It showed against Notre Dame last week. I watched part of that game. It showed definitely.
So what's the key?
Well, the key for Clemson is don't buy into all that. Don't think, okay, just because they're Boston College, they haven't played well. The key is keep the same intensity you had the last 2 weeks against those two top 15 teams. If you do that, they'll win this game with ease.
All right, my key to the game this week is I want to see the offense pick up on the momentum they built last week. They struggled during the Auburn game. They had a couple of good drives. That was enough thanks to an outstanding defensive performance. Louisville, not the best defense in the world we saw Saturday night, but the offense gained a lot of momentum. We saw Kelly Bryant play his best game. We saw the running game have the best game we've seen around here in a while with multiple running backs. I want to see that momentum continue against Boston College. I don't want to see them pull back. I think they need to build week to week. Coach Venables talked a little bit about that today and how they need to just kind of keep getting better and better. They've got a lot of confidence coming out of Louisville. If they can have another good game this week, they'll be able to carry that confidence up to Virginia Tech next week. So that's my key. Gavin, what's your key to the game?
I'm just going to say continue to build depth. This is a game where Clemson's obviously the more talented team, as Will said. It should be a game where there should be it shouldn't be a close game. So Clemson should have a chance to get some younger guys in, play a lot of guys, and continue. Dabo talks all the time about competitive depth. This is one of those games, especially heading into the Virginia Tech game, and just moving forward in the season. This is one of those games you don't get too many chances throughout the course of the season to get a lot of guys action and blowouts and whatnot. So I just think that would be key for Clemson, just to continue to build competitive depth and also just execute. You're the more talented team. Just go out there, execute, no pressure, just continue to build confidence and just keep rolling. There's a good chance to do that this week.
So basically you want to see them play that standard as they get into the depth. All right, let's go with our prediction. Will, what's your score prediction for the game Saturday?
Well, I think when you look at this game and you look at BC's weaknesses and strengths and they want to run the football. They play a pro-style offense, and that's Clemson's defense feasts on that. And so I think it's going to be hard for them to score. Clemson, and then you look at the other side, like I talked about earlier, they struggle there. If Notre Dame can score 49 points on them, and basically a lot's very similar to what Clemson's probably going to do with the running quarterback, and if Wake Forest can score 46 on them, I think the streak continues this week, and I think Clemson will take it another notch. So another 46 points to 49 points. I think Clemson gets in the 50s. I'm going to go 56-10.
56-10. All right, Gavin, what's your score prediction?
Well, I'm definitely not predicting a loss this time around.
Yes, all right. Notice Gavin is back with us this week.
So definitely no loss. A big win for Clemson. I think defensively, Clemson, after making some mistakes this past week against Louisville, I think they'll really be locked in, really zoned in and focused. And I think we'll see a great effort. Also, I think the offense will come out and roll, and I'm just going to say 42 to 10.
All right, so both of you guys going with 10.
Going for the shutout?
Huh? No, I'm not going to go that, but I'm going to go a little lower than 10. I do think Clemson's defense showed this week, even when that last stop against Louisville, they were playing 14 guys there against Louisville, against their starters, and played well. They gave up a couple of late drives. I'm going to say Boston College gets 3. I'm going to give them a field goal, turnover or something. And I'm actually going to top Will and go even a little bit higher on the offensive side. I'm going to say Clemson 59, Boston College 3. All right, so there's our predictions. Nothing to worry about this weekend. Obviously, Clemson needs to keep that momentum going, and huge game coming up next week. Got tons of coverage all weekend long. Stay tuned to TCI for the most complete coverage of Clemson football.